So here I am in college, finally my own man, and I have my own group of friends, and I get invited to LAN parties for the first time in my life. And the game we played was StarCraft 1. You thought I was going to say League, didn't you?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Who's Joe YouTube Edition.
Who's Joe?
Who the is Joe?
Who's Joe?
Who's Joe?
Who's Joe?
Yeah. Who is Joe?
Today I am here with Leeland, and why don't you go ahead and tell us a little about yourself?
So started streaming in 2014. It worked out pretty well for a couple of years. Kind of shied away from being the content creator and kind of focused on helping the content creator these past couple of years. But I still love making content, and I really love the community. So my biggest game is League of Legends, and I used to be one of the world's top Mordekaiser players. So if you play League, you can appreciate what that means.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to ask you the first interview question, do our countdown, and we will start the staring contest when you start answering the first question.
Sure.
Okay. First question is, if you could collaborate with anybody in the world on anything, who would that be? And I will count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If I could collaborate with anyone in the world, it would probably be Mr. Beast, simply because he and I jive with the same idea that we're on Earth to help people. So I think that's really, really important. As far as what I would do to make that collaboration happen, I'm already working on that. Oh, man, I can't. Did you blink? I can't tell. You did not blink.
No, I haven't blinked.
I'm nearsighted, so I could not tell. Oh, okay. Well, you win that. Anyways, geez. Collaborate with somebody with eye drops. So yeah, big fan of Mr. Beast. If I had to take like a second place, I'd probably like collaborate with Leonhardt. He's a really big Pokemon TCG YouTuber. I completely agree with what he's about. I don't like the price gouging. I saw the most recent release, like the $40 packs at Walmart. I saw somebody bought all of them from Walmart yesterday and was trying to sell them at like $110 a pop. That's a $175 increase. And the guy took the picture. He didn't even take his car out of drive. He was still in drive. So he's on the road. He's driving, taking pictures. Probably on his way to the next Walmart to scalp them too. I just think it's ridiculous. So I'm not a big fan of what Logan Paul's done to the Pokemon TCG community. I think Leonhardt's like the polar opposite of that. He's trying to, he's trying to cash in on the hobby, but he's a true blue Pokemon fan. He's not in it for the money. I love that about him. I got a Jeep downstairs. It's a 2019 yellow Jeep, and I got a Pikachu face decal on it. So we call it the Jeepachu. And so I think it'd be really fun to do like a collaboration with him because I'm a Pokemon fan too. So.
If you've watched one of my videos before, you know that at this point, I am going to attempt to go the rest of the interview without blinking as well.
Sounds like a medical condition.
I guess it's just a freak ability of mine.
Definitely.
So why don't you explain your username to my viewers?
So the king of ELO Hell is just a League of Legends reference. ELO Hell is nothing satanic. It just means the bottom of the ladder. So in League of Legends, when you win games, you climb the metaphorical ladder. If you lose games, you fall down the ladder. And at some point, your ELO is so low. ELO is your rating. At some point, your ELO is so low that some people say, I'm stuck in ELO Hell, which means I can't climb because my teammates are so bad, which is ridiculous because you're at the same ELO as the enemy team as well. So if you can't climb, it's your own fault. But ELO Hell is a popular joke in League of Legends culture. And so calling yourself the king of ELO Hell is a pretty memey thing to do. And I had a lot of success with that username back in 2016, 2017. So it brought me a lot of views back in the day.
I went back and looked at some of your earlier videos, and I noticed that you pretty much started off on YouTube doing League of Legends videos. What made you want to decide to do League of Legends content?
So I grew up without running water until I was 17 years old. Left home with no shoes, no socks, no shirt. I kind of missed that whole phase where you get to play all these different games because we were just freaking poor. So first year in college, I saved up for a laptop. I bought an old Dell Inspiron 1501. This thing overheated in every game of League I played. The dorm internet was atrocious because this was 2008, 2009 era. And here I am playing with my very first real group of friends because didn't have a lot of friends in high school. It's just the way it was. Malnourished. I didn't smell good because my hygiene was terrible. So here I am in college, finally my own man, and I have my own group of friends, and I get invited to LAN parties for the first time in my life. And the game we played was StarCraft 1. You thought I was going to say League, didn't you? But one of my friends at the StarCraft LAN party was like, dude, this new game's out 2010. You should try it. It's called League of Legends. And I resisted him for months, but I finally got on board, and I enjoyed the game a lot. And so I remember dormitory internet running to the commissary to get ice packet and napkins and just set it on my laptop so that it wouldn't overheat for a single game. And that was me. That was my first experience becoming a gamer. And it wasn't until 2015 that I started streaming. I got a sponsorship, actually. Someone I met. It's a funny story. I was a telemarketer. So a little bit of background. I went to college in Chicago for animation. My school dropped my major, lost accreditation, and closed in my last year. I had $50,000 in debt, and I was 30 days away from being homeless. And I raised $2,000 in a month on GoFundMe to travel to California, where one of my friends through League of Legends, who I'd never met in my life, a Marine, gave me a place to stay rent-free for 6 months. And so in those 6 months, I grinded really hard. I was working at a gas station, I was working at Domino's, and I was working as a telemarketer at Sunlight Solar. And I got a lot of cold calls. I was very respectful. And if anyone was ever nice to me, I would write down their information and call them afterwards and let them know how Sunlight Solar got a hold of their information, because it was a pretty shady company at the time. I didn't like the company, but I was just trying to get paid. So I would call them after hours, let them know, hey, I took the liberty of putting you on our do not call list. And this is the company that my company bought your information from. If you'd like to call them out and say, hey, why are you selling my information? Right. So I had some mixed results of that. Some people were like, why are you still talking to me? But it's okay. Thanks for telling me. But this one guy was like, wow, you're a very interesting person, and I'd like to meet you. And then, stranger danger, but I was young, impressionable, and always eager to meet people because my background made me very social. So went to lunch with this guy, met him in San Diego, and he actually used to be an old tech exec from HP. And he asked me, streaming is a pretty big thing right now. You told me you really like gaming. Why don't you try streaming? Like, I don't have a PC for that. I was like, well, what do you need? Write me a list. Literally tell me a list. The only catch is you have to build it yourself. He's a tech guy. He wants to see people improve. So I learned how to build my own PC. I sent him a very meager list. He upgraded everything and sent it to me from Amazon. And so I built my own PC. And that's when I started streaming in late 2014, early 2015. And the game I played at the time was League of Legends. And the market was not overly saturated at the time. So it was a really good time to get in. So yeah, that was how I started in League. Bit of a long story, sorry.
It's perfectly fine. And what was the inspiration behind the more diss track?
So I played in League of Legends to have mastery on a champion. You win games. Losing games, you get a little bit of mastery. Winning, you get a lot. In this game of League of Legends, to have 100,000 mastery in one champion means you know your shit. He's a very powerful champion. If you can get to 100,000 mastery, you must be a master. Okay, so in this game where 100,000 mastery is a milestone, I had over 4 million mastery on Mordekaiser. Okay, so I'm literally the world's first and longest playing Mordekaiser OTP. He was released in February 24, 2010. I started playing League a couple weeks before that. So I am the first Mordekaiser OTP, one-trick pony OTP in the world. And Riot Games reworked him in 2019. Rework means reimagined. And usually when you rework a champion, you try to preserve its core identity for the people who played him. But unfortunately for Mordekaiser, his play rate was so abysmal. The majority of League players thought he was so trash that his play rate was really low. And Riot Games just said, we're just going to press the complete reset button on this champion. And so for people like me who actually understood how to play the champion, who played him at the top 1% of players in the world, I'm in DLO, it was really bad. They flushed all my mastery down the drain. So I was really upset about it. And the worst part about the entire rework is that I was 2 hours from Riot HQ. I offered a year in advance to help with the rework. I raise money for children's cancer every year. I have a cosplay that would have been great for their YouTube channel, great content. I'm actually active in the community. I've got a mildly successful stream and YouTube channel. I'm the longest playing Mordekaiser OTP in the world, have one of the highest masteries, one of the highest ELOs. I was the obvious choice. But instead of inviting me, and they told me they weren't inviting anybody, they flew two nobodies in from overseas. And one of them was a moderately successful streamer for Spain. So he's not doing too bad. But the other guy, he was almost nobody in the community. So I might come across as petty, but for me, it's just, here's Riot Games, here's their decision making. They've got one guy offering to drive up there on their own time, their own money, highly successful on Mordekaiser, highly accomplished, more than qualified to help you with this rework. And instead of letting him come up for free, you'd rather pay a round trip flight from somebody in Switzerland. So that's my point. The decision making wasn't good, and it really didn't sit well with me. And all was said and done, the guy they denied the chance was the one saltiest about the rework. So yeah, I wrote a diss track and I made a music video. I'm actually working on a second one as we speak. So it's going to be lit.
Makes perfect sense. So what do you see your future being as a YouTuber and a streamer?
I don't particularly care about League of Legends anymore. I don't even really care about making content of the gaming nature anymore. I stream every once in a while just to maintain some semblance of relevancy, but I'm actually really passionate about enabling other creators right now. So I'm really working towards getting my foot in the door with some of the biggest YouTubers on earth. I'm currently working with some other big names, but I think that might be one of your interview questions later. So I'm going to shy away from talking about that too much.
That makes perfect sense. One thing I've noticed on your Twitter, just going back over it a little, is that you tend to talk a fair amount about stocks. Do you see any sort of crossover between crypto, stocks, and YouTube?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a Twitter account that I follow. His name's Dan Deity of Dips. And I'm actually a moderator for his Twitch channel. And I've been hounding him for weeks now about how he and I should collaborate, because he has all the right tools, but he's not making any of the right moves. He's got a large following on Twitter. He's got a pretty successful podcast. But to be honest, podcasts are a dying art. He doesn't do anything on YouTube, no visuals, just the Spotify. And at the very least, have visuals. Clubhouse is amazing. He should be on Clubhouse every day. If I could collaborate with him and help him do the right things as a content creator, that would be awesome. Because I know a little bit about the stock market, and I've been having fun with it. Right now is a terrible time to be in the stock market, FYI. Good time to enter, but terrible time to have already had your stocks. So horrible bear market. But what I'm saying is there a chance for all those things to cross over? Definitely, 100%.
Can you talk any about the other content creators that you're working with?
Yeah, so I work on and off with Austin Alexander. He's a military obstacle course related YouTube channel, over 500,000 subscribers. He's up in LA, Anaheim area. He's a really chill guy. I've met him once in real life so far. For now, I'm just doing mostly collaboration creation, trying to give him more ideation. So got some potential videos in the future with really big obstacle course stars, like American Ninja Warrior. That's exciting. But right now, COVID season is in full swing, so it's just not good to have people traveling across states.
I noticed on Twitter that you got the new Daryl Eves YouTube book. Do you have a favorite YouTube-related book?
I mean, this is the only YouTube-related book that I've ever read in my life. And yeah, it's really, really good. Daryl Eves is incredible. I'm sure that you already know who he is, but for your viewers who may or may not be ignorant of this magical world, Daryl Eves is one of the pioneers of the YouTube algorithm and mastering it. He's one of the first people to say, you know what? I see a need here. People want to be successful on YouTube, but they don't know how to do it. So I should dissect YouTube and start telling people how they can do it. And he built his channel from nothing. And he's a very inspiring story. I really look up to people like him. And Daryl Eves got the attention of a lot of really big content creators, especially Mr. Beast, who believe in what he's doing. And they work very closely together.
Gotcha. Well, I guess we've hit the point of the video where I'm going to get you to say I was not able to beat Joe in a staring contest.
Okay. I was not able to beat this freak of nature in a staring contest. Say that with love.
I understand.
You want to blink now?
I will at the end.
Okay.
It's been 35 minutes now. Well, if you could call somebody out to sit on the other side and be in a staring contest video with me, who would you call out?
Probably Aoki. He's another League of Legends streamer. They call him the GSA, the greatest support alive. He's pretty good at not blinking himself, but I don't think he's got anything on you. But he's an up-and-coming creator. Another person I would recommend is Lava_GS. He works with the Mr. Beast Gaming YouTube channel, and he's really great. He's 16, 17 years old. He's got 20,000 followers on TikTok. I just got him a sponsorship with Kraken Keyboards. So he's an up-and-coming creator. I would recommend you reach out to either one of them on Twitter. I can DM them to you if you want. So just let them know that I sent you.
Well, what are you doing? What do you have to talk about? What do you have going on? What do you have to plug?
Work on another diss track. If you have any old Pokemon cards sitting in your basement or your attic or whatever, DM Joe and Joe will send them pictures. Send the pictures to me and I'll tell you what they're worth. So yeah. I want to hit 100,000 followers on Twitter. I believe that influence is really important. And I think that if you're using your influence for good other than yourself, you can go really far in this world. So that's really what I want to do. Also, if you guys, this is the most important plug actually, more than anything I just said. If you go to my Twitter account, which I'm sure he'll link in the YouTube description, you'll see a pinned post. I'm trying to help this family down in Florida. So just because I'm not Mr. Beast, it doesn't mean I can't emulate him. So I think the people who use that excuse, I don't have millions of dollars, is ridiculous. Stop letting your nose get stuck on the dot. This family down in Florida has been struggling. In November of 2020, her husband died for 174 seconds during a surgery to save him from a collapsed lung. Okay. Before this, she had lost her job because of COVID-19. He was still working, but when he got his collapsed lung, he lost his job because of the recovery time from his surgery. They got evicted shortly after Christmas, and the basis of the eviction was that he had dogs on the property, even though the landowner knew that he had dogs for over a year. So they used that to get him off the property despite the COVID-19 laws. Supposedly, they were supposed to protect him, right? But they didn't. Because the landlord found a loophole. So they've been homeless since 2020. And, it's Florida. They've done everything they can to find housing. I got a hair in my mouth, part of having a really hairy dog. But they're just struggling, and I'm trying to help them. And I made a video compiling all the information that has happened to them. Excuse me, it's got over 20,000 views on Twitter. We've raised over $3,000 for him so far. And, just trying to get more shares and more attention because, I think we should care about people like that. I don't think we should just turn another eye and say, someone else will help him. Because before I came along, no one was really helping him. He'd raised less than $400.
Well, I will put a link to that video in the video description, and I'll put a link to your YouTube channel in the video description. But that's going to be it for another episode of Who's Joe YouTube Edition. If you haven't already liked the video, go ahead and do that. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. If you haven't already gone to Leeland's YouTube channel, or not,
I don't care. It's fine. I appreciate it, but it doesn't matter. Unless you play League, it doesn't really matter.
Well, they could at least wait there to see your next diss track.
You're not wrong.
There's going to be a video down here at the bottom left that I've recommended, a video down here at the bottom right that YouTube has recommended. Watch one of them. Watch both of them. At least follow Leeland on Twitter. I will link his Twitter profile in the video description. And we will see you the next time.